What was that?
Should've called Gary a chump. It's gonna get ugly.
With number 1 in all-time wins versus number 10, is this an exciting matchup? And are you surprised you've only played them once in your tenure?
At Kansas?
Yeah.
When did we played them? When did we play?
Honolulu.
Oh, that's right, they beat us. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, so God, thanks for that memory. I think they had the kid go for, who was it? Was it Blackman?
Yep, James Blackman.
Yeah, Blackman that killed us that game, wasn't it? Or whatever.
Tyler
So-
came in at the end.
You did.
Who?
Tyler.
Not a good sign. So,
Josh,
was that an
Josh
over-
found out.
that was
Overtime.
an overtime game.
Yeah.
And we had to
Scored your
scramble to
14th
catch
game.
our flight to get to New York City because we played Duke the next game.
There you go.
So, yeah, that was Josh's debut.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd wanted to forget about that. Thank you for reminding me of that. But no, you know, Indiana's a blue blood, and certainly we are. And I don't think the wins numbers are really relevant, but it'll be fun to get them back in the field house. Last time they were in the field house, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the most historic games ever in the field house, and you know, hopefully this will have some the same atmosphere and preferably with the same result.
What concerns you about their style of play and what they've got?
Well, their style is very sound. I mean, they guard. They don't give up easy baskets, and they make you score over the top of them. And even though I don't know that they're huge, they're big compared to us. And you know, Trace is 6'9", and they're going to start 6'9" next to him, and so that's certainly a size advantage for them. So hopefully our quickness can offset that a little bit. But you know, they've got, and I haven't heard yet on the guard on his health situation on Hood Shapiro, but obviously they got an All-American anchor and everything for him, and we've got to do a very good job on him to limit his good touches.
Is there a team you played this year that reminds you of this team or maybe compares in terms of matchup?
I would say probably not. You know, they play fast. I mean, they score more points than we're scoring right now. So, you know, if you want to say Big Ten and Wisconsin, that's not really a true indication because Wisconsin ain't going to play near as fast as what Indiana's going to play. So, I would say we kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways on how we attempt to play.
Bill, the last two wins, Seton Hall, Missouri, looks very impressive, at least to us. What are the tangible things you see us doing better in the last couple of games that you maybe weren't seeing earlier?
I think that KJ has plugged himself in more to what we're doing offensively, and I think we've done a better job of plugging him in, guys getting him the ball in positions where he can make a play. You know, when teams are really sound, i.e. Tennessee defensively, Wisconsin defensively, Indiana defensively, you're not going to score on the first or second side near as easily. Not that it's ever easy to score, but you're not going to get a shot on the first, second side near as easily because you have to do some things to force them to make a mistake. And I think that Missouri plays totally opposite of Indiana in that their whole scheme is to create havoc. Indiana's whole scheme is to pressure, but do it in a way where you don't have 4-on-3s and 3-on-2s behind it, and which is much like how we try to guard. So you have to be very, very aggressive and at the same time patient to get a good look. And I think I do think the last two opponents we've been better at that, but we haven't we should probably go back to Atlantis to see more how to attack it than maybe the last two opponents.
You mentioned Coach Fino. If Coach Fino can go, their guard, what does that give Indiana?
Well, he's one of the best freshmen in the country. You know, he can score, he can handle, strong, confident, plays with the swagger. You know, they'll be fine without him, but they'll obviously be better with him. So I don't know the ins and outs of you know what they're trying to get accomplished in practice, or what they lose by him not playing, or what they gain by him playing from a tactical standpoint, but from just a visual standpoint, he's a good guard, he's strong, and he definitely, you know, is one of the elite freshmen in the country.
And then also at Big 12 Media Days, you mentioned Trace and whether, you know, bigs going up against him. What's your confidence level right now about your bigs and going up against that kind of test?
Well, I would say right now that my confidence in that one particular thing isn't, you know, sky high. I think that they'll try to play to that as well. I mean, if KJ's in the game, he doesn't have the standing height that some of our other guys have, and our other guys have never guarded anybody like him, just to be real candid. So it'll be a tough matchup for us. We're gonna have to help and do some things to try to eliminate his good touches and everything. But you know, he's a great player, so he's gonna score. I mean, he's gonna get some. There's no doubt about that. We just can't let it be a great number.
When you, with 2 non-conference games left before Big 12, when you look at your bench, where are you? What, are they coming? Are they close? Do you need a lot of improvement there? What do you see?
I think we need a lot of improvement there. I told Vital today, he asked me about our bigs, and I said, we've got 4 pretty good bigs. They're just not quite there yet. And I say that especially with Zub and Ernest, and Zach, obviously, because he's young too. Cam won't be around next year, but all 3 of those guys are going to be really good collegiate players. And Zach's being asked to play a way that probably doesn't best fit him individually, but it's best for our team. And Zuby and Ernest are just you know, maturity and experience away from being a really good big. And I do think it'll happen this year, but we don't need all 3 to come through, to be honest with you. We need one of those guys to separate themselves and be a guy that you know can play 15 or 20 a game. And if we get that and we get MJ to the point where he can do something comparable, I think that it changes our whole look physically, because those are, you'd be bringing off the bench, you know, 2 of our best 3 or 4 athletes. So I'm hopeful that can occur.
It seems like Bobby and Ernest are a lot of times the first guard and first big off the bench. Are you comfortable there? Is that a sign of their status?
No.
Okay.
It's Bobby and Joe maybe more so than Ernest.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. With our bigs, you know, when KJ was playing as well as he played the other day in the first half, I really didn't see a need to have another big in there much. And of course, KJ could play as big as anybody that Missouri had or bigger. So I didn't really feel that. But I do think that Bobby has to be in the game if one's not, and they can be in the game together. And I do believe Joe is, you know, definitely a spark that can certainly help us off the bench. MJ isn't quite that spark. MJ's more of a scorer that can, if he could tighten up a few things defensively and everything, and I do think that he could get extended minutes to become a scorer. It's hard for a scorer to be a scorer if you're only playing 2 or 3 minutes. So he needs to get some extended minutes, but he'll probably do that by being more in tune in what we're trying to do defensively and taking care of the ball. So it's just time away before it gets there. He can't show what he can do yet because We haven't let him show it because we need him to do the other things that's probably more valuable to our team being successful while he's in there.
You mentioned Indiana forcing you to score over them. I think that's me. You mentioned about Tennessee. They gave you guys fits.
Gave us a lot of fits, yeah.
What do you feel like you guys learned from that game that maybe can you apply to Saturday?
I think in that game, I actually think we played better than the score after watching it. But it was a ball sticking, and also in that game, we played without a point guard, basically the majority of the game. So I do think that we're more equipped to play better against somebody like that. But that was a rude awakening of what teams will do to you on the backboard, and if you play 5-on-5 against them. So how do we not play 5-on-5 offensively, and how do we rebound the ball defensively? That would be a pretty big key for us to be successful.
And you mentioned rebounding defensively with Kevin. Is that something you've emphasized with him?
I haven't really had to. That's something that he just naturally does. He and Jalen are as good at rebounding guards as there is in the country, I think. But I haven't really had to do that. But with us playing the way we're playing, if you go back and look, KJ doesn't get a lot of defensive rebounds, but he does a pretty good job of keeping his man from getting offensive rebounds. So that you need to have tall guards that can clean it up, and they've done a pretty good job of that.
And then one more on Kevin, shooting career high percentage from three. What do you feel like has led to the jump where he came as a low 30s and now he's in mid to high 30s?
Well, I also think the sample size is small. So when you get into 15 or 20 games, and then you can, those are really true percentages. But the bottom line is he's just more confident, and he's looking at a little bit bigger basket, and I really like how he's playing. I think he's playing the way he needs to play for us to have a good chance.
When you look at Trace, he's obviously got that dynamic scoring ability. What have you seen from him on the defensive end that he does so well?
Well, he's so quick off his feet. You guys will watch this. We won't play anybody anytime. Maybe Wiggins. That second jump is as quick as Trace. Trace misses layups and then he dumps the follows. I mean, he's really quick off his feet. So if he's doing that offensively, he's obviously, capable of doing that defensively too. He's a great athlete. And he can slide. I coached Trace with USA Basketball when he was young, and he was a terrific talent then, and he still is now. But I think that the way that Mike and Indiana play, it's probably as sound a way. I don't know what Trace is averaging blocks per game. You know?
2 or 3, I think.
2.3?
2 or 3.
Well, 2 or 3 is huge. I mean, that's huge. That's like top 10 in the country. So he's obviously quick off his feet. He's got great timing, and he's, I'm sure, a very good. I'm sure they consider him a very good help defender and a rim protector. So we need to move him around. It'd be nice to get him away from the basket a little bit.
Does he draw any comparisons to players you've seen past, or is he unique in his own way?
Well, I hadn't really thought that through, but I would say he's unique in his own way, in large part because he's left-handed. Of all the really good ones out there, 10% are left-handed, and not too many guys are blocking 3 shots a game and are that explosive like he is.
Earlier in the week, you guys fell 2 spots in the poll despite winning by 30 on the road. Did you see that, and are you
Yeah, oh yeah.
surprised?
No, I'm not surprised at all, because the team that played, that was, what were we, 6 last week? The team that was 7 won on the road at a top 20 team by 30. I mean, I'm sorry, by 3 or 4. Tennessee won at Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. And then the team that was like 8 beat the number 1 ranked team on the road. So we're probably right where we deserve to be. Houston didn't deserve to fall beneath us. Texas fell to 7, and we're 8, right?
Yeah.
So no. And the other thing is, guys, it's nice to be ranked, but the rankings right now don't mean anything. Wait till you get in the league, and every one of those teams in the top 10 are losing once a week or once every 2 weeks. It'll be flip-flopping all the time, once we get into the league.
How's the health of the squad?
think we're pretty healthy. You know, Bobby and Cam didn't practice the last 2 days because of, he had a stomach ailment, but he practiced yesterday. He didn't practice Monday or Tuesday. He practiced yesterday, and then everybody else should be in pretty good shape.
You're kind of in this stretch right now where you're playing one game a week. What does that allow you to do in practice?
Well, this is finals week, so there's not as much done getting in practice this week as it is more of a maintenance week probably. But I do think that if we're gonna guard differently, if we're going to add a set or two, I do think it's best to do it in times where you have ample practice time. So we may do a few things a little differently that we haven't done yet, just because nobody's scouted it, that hopefully will, you know, help prepare us not only to win this game, but to move forward and maybe be more prepared to play in the league.
It's still pretty new news, the NCAA new president, the governor of Massachusetts. I wonder, do you have any reaction to a politician taking that job?
I don't really know. I don't. I mean, I just saw it on the ticker. It just came out this morning, right?
Right.
So I just saw it on the ticker. So, and I'm not familiar, but I'm sure that it's, you know, there's a reason why he was chosen, because he's the most equipped to lead. So I mean, I'm sure he'll do a good job and everything. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be talked about, discussed, you know, not only from 30,000 feet, but from 5,000 feet with each particular sport moving forward, and what's best for the particular sports. But I'm sure that I'm sure he's a good pick, but I really don't have any idea right now.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Nice, coach.
Nice, Phil.
Thanks.